Good afternoon. It's a privilege to be here at Next 2025, and it's an honor to discuss about what is next in entrepreneurship. I am Avinash Punekar. I represent iCreate, the International Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology based in Ahmedabad, one of India's best technology business incubator. It's a standalone, sector-agnostic, hardware-focused incubator. The world today is at an inflection point. Technology, sustainability, and entrepreneurship cannot be discussed separately, but they are intertwined. It's driving the economic opportunities and social reforms. We have today an excellent panel. We have Abhit Kumar, CEO of Social Hardware. Abhit is revolutionizing the robotics and telerobotics systems, which work in hazardous environment, especially in defense, space, nuclear, and chemical environments. We have Abdul Azeez Khan, co-founder of Fasmho Energy, who is working in making energy intelligent. He builds actually battery management systems, health management systems for battery solutions. We have Dr. Prafulla Agarwal, who's the founder of Tokere Energy Solutions. She's pushing the boundaries of blockchain-driven climate action tokens. It enhances the transparency, traceability of green energy and verification system. We have Mr. Shivashankar, who's the founder of DAIJO, who's working on AI-driven micro-mobility solutions. I'm going to ask three simple questions to all of them because these four entrepreneurs come from different domains. So my first question to all of them is going to be in terms of what is the problem or the gap or the need that they identified in the market, and how did they go about in identifying the right kind of solution for those gaps? We can start with Shivashankar.
Thank you, Avinash, and thank the organizers for having us here. As you know, today, the world is moving at a rapid pace with AI and technology. Now, let us take a moment to rethink the timeless machine, which we generally refer to the bicycle. A touch of new design and technology into this marvelous piece of equipment can turn this into the most powerful micro-mobility solution. And this very idea drove us in taking up this project to design and manufacture electric cycles for the Indian market. And especially in India, nearly 75% of the commute happens on two-wheelers. And you move down into B and C class cities, bicycle becomes the backbone. And by transforming these bicycles into electric cycles, it would become a boon to not only the users, but in general, for the nation too. So it is with this idea that we ventured here, and then we moved on to develop our own controllers, which were also patented, and we use them today in our range of products. And thereafter, recently, we have floated two POCs. One is we realized by modifying these bicycles or tweaking the design, we could adapt it into hyperlocal delivery as well as for the hyperlocal cargo. And another POC that we have opened is we have spent a fair amount of knowledge in controller design as well as motor design. We thought that if we can put all this together into a concise equipment that can be fitted into the bicycle, and given it at a very affordable price, this could transform the bicycle industry that could be adapted by anyone and transform his normal bicycle into an electric bicycle. Because India is the second largest manufacturer of cycles, and we have a number of cycles in the road, and by fixing them into the cycles, they can immediately become electric cycles, delivering a substantial benefit to the user as well as the country. So this is our journey, and this is the brief or summary on our journey. I'll now pass it on to Dr. Prafull.
Okay, just take a little swipe away, and Tokere is obviously a blockchain climate technology startup, but it just reminds me of the little kids I saw being lined up today. For them, it's a Saturday gone. They don't know why they're here. They've been ushered in, they've been ushered out. So this is exactly how organizations and businesses feel, because climate activists, civil groups, lawyers, teachers, parents, governments, everybody's putting a pressure on organizations to say, hey, what are you doing for the climate change? Where are your sustainability goals? So it's like reluctant children. They commit to saying, okay, I'll achieve a net zero somewhere around 2040, 2050. Some have 2075 goals. I'm not sure when I'll be around there. So with this is what the problem that I've identified, saying where is this reluctance stemming from? And why are businesses dragging their feet? And one of the things that you realize is businesses, by their very DNA, account for revenue. They build their businesses, they build their future on plans, on revenues, whereas sustainability has been sitting as a cost bucket. So I said, if we can crack that and make climate action profitable, we don't need to push any businesses, they will all adopt them. So that was what triggered the ideation and generation of Tokere.
Thank you, Prafulla.
Hello everybody. First of all, it's a privilege being here. Talking about gap identification, it's about our own journeys. First thing is, I was always fascinated with power. Now with power, I do not mean a specific thing. In general, I was fascinated with it. And according to that, research was done from a personal basis because of fascination. What I understood is, a lot of noble people also suggested that acquiring power is the first step, but maintaining that is the biggest challenge, and the rest 99 steps. That's what struck my mind, and what I realized is, the new age, where the abundance of new age power, which is the energy, what you call the green energy, or the form of energy packets which are going to move around in vehicles or in mobility sector. That's what attracted me, that so much abundance of power and still the trust factor is low, because the efficient management and the operation of that power from one node to the other, be it the storage or be it the charging or the discharging, is the biggest problem. So that's what struck to me as the biggest gap what the industry was currently facing, and that's how we conceptualized, realized, and then basically prototyped and brought out to the market what we call as the intelligent battery management system. And in simple terms, it is the brain to the power. So this is how we try to conceptualize that, and now we are finding out different branches within the same space, where not only the management and the discharging of it, but how is it that efficiently fast charging of these battery packs or these power packets, which can be done so that the life is not affected, and in turn is elongated by the algorithms what we use. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone. For us, it was pretty simple actually. We intended to identify the industries where activities are conducted, and in those activities, humans' lives are at stake, and which can breed catastrophe as well as inefficiency. And out of when we were searching for the industries, the two pick for us was obviously defense, in which ordnance disposal happen, and then you have radiation and nuclear labs, where you have, even if a scientist is wearing a Class A radiation suit, there's still, radiation is still being absorbed. And the same goes for ordnance disposal technicians as well. And the weight of the bomb disposal suit is around 35 kgs on an average. So for us, it was very simple and direct that we have to build a teleoperation system which can conduct operations remotely with an operator at a safe distance, and everything that happens is basically using biomimicry. So whatever the upper body movement is there of the human operator is mimicked by the bot, and the activity is conducted, and that is what that's how we identified the gap and then created a solution.
Thank you, Abhit. The entrepreneurs today are not necessarily restricting themselves to specific geographies or domains. A lot of entrepreneurs that we come across today are taking the challenge of boldly designing hardware. Hardware which is going to be designed from India for the world. Today, the entrepreneurs are also looking at dominating the global markets right from the word go. They don't start their business or their venture with the idea of just targeting a very limited market, but they look at like how they are going to build global innovations, global markets, global businesses. So how do you guys actually assess, or what do you predict would be the impact of your innovations in the market, both in India and across the world? How do you see that? So
electric bicycles generally, we can just categorize it into 4 major impact areas. One is the environmental impact, that is a given. The health impact, that is also a given. But more importantly, especially for a country like India, I would like to, talk a little bit on the economic benefits and the social benefits. The economic is we are just getting these products into the market, and we will need a sizable amount of skill sets as well as talent as we start moving these bikes into second, B class, C class, and rural areas. So there is going to be a sizable amount of employment opportunity, employment creation opportunity on the economic side. And on the social side, yes, the electric bicycles do give options for women as well as, marginalized communities. And promoting these amongst these people will finally pave way for social inclusion.
Dr. Prafulla?
Yeah. Okay, let me put it this way. We've heard again, I'll just go back to net zero. Organizations, we've all heard pledges, yes, that we are going to be net zero by next year. And I don't think anybody in this room has not heard that from any organization. But do we know what that near net zero means, which we will potentially achieve by 2045? Is 10% of our emissions. The 90% of our emissions are still not even being looked at. There are a handful of companies that I could count on my fingers who are saying, oh, maybe we'll start looking because it's got a complex supply chain in a very flat world where your raw materials are happening from all sides of the globe that's coming in. So the impact that we wanted to achieve is, can we solve that problem of 90%? Which is, can we start doing 2 things which my previous panelists have already covered today. Blockchain brings trust. So it's not a technology, it's a momentum of trust. So can we bring trust so that you first believe that so-and-so raw material has got this benefit coming into my product? 2 is already been mentioned, traceability. Can we really trace a green quotient? Let me give a simple example. We all know today there is renewable energy. We've been seeing the ads of Adani through the last 48 hours. We know they're doing so much on renewable energy. It's coming into our grid, which means our grid power, which is mixed up, has got 20, 30, 40, 10, 15, some percentage of a green feature. Now, why is this green feature not benefiting the exporters, the other organizations, the manufacturers who are today exporting into various countries and are penalized by various regulations? There is a green embedded in the product which you're not able to quantify. So when we establish blockchain or underpin with that, we're able to trace that green, we're able to quantify that, establish a trust so you can pay for it, so you can charge for it. And I'll leave it with one simple example. It's like I would come and dirty this place today. We've all been here, we've eaten, drinking, there is a bit of a mess here. I'll go back to Bangalore and clean my house because I've dirtied it here. How does that feel? It doesn't solve the purpose. So typical is what this is, greenwashing. And even better, I would go and say, fine, I'm going to clean my home with maybe a high-end broom because I feel very good that the broom has been made by some person sitting out of Pune. And that's what we do. I mean, I'm going to dirty various countries in your manufacturing and I'll buy credits out of an Africa, or Vietnam, or somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Clean where you're dirtying and impact on that 90%. That's exactly what Tokere is trying to solve. So we're saying remove greenwashing and green your supply chain so you're genuinely hit net zero. Don't say I've managed 10% of my emissions, greenwashing from Africa for a manufacturing happening in India or China and claim that will happen after 15 years. I don't think how many of us will be in this room then.
Let's move on to Aziz.
Yes, talking about impact of the product, if I have to define it in one word, is building confidence within a particular sector of technology, which is deprived of that particular part. Because even today, whenever we speak about batteries and energy in bulk, which is humongous power, compressed in small sizes, that's when people are still lacking confidence when it comes to scaling it up at different levels, be it in terms of production or operation or planting it on road, especially in the mobility segment. So that's where the impact starts from at the grassroots level, and then we take it up to the fast charging segment also, where with the trust and with the confidence what we have built with heavy battery packs and heavy mobility applications, we bring in the fast charging also as a convenience factor, specifically for users who are troubled by range anxiety and the security issues. So this is what I feel, starting from the grassroots level, but taking it up to scale as well, from my side.
For us, impact is zero casualty. You can operate multiple bots at single time, so efficiency as well as fatigueness. So if as an operator I'm controlling the bot for a longer period of time and I'm tired, I can switch between the operators and still continue the work. So those are the three impacts that we have.
Entrepreneurship in India has gone through a massive evolution. Historically, India was one of the most innovative entrepreneurial country or a nation, which over the years, during the colonial era, we lost that mojo. We actually shied away from being like entrepreneurial and innovative. After independence, it was primarily the license Raj and family businesses and traditional businesses which sort of emerged. It's in the 90s when the economic liberalization started. That's when the new age entrepreneurs started taking roots. And these entrepreneurships led by like the entrepreneurs like Narayan Murthy, Sunil Mittal, Shiv Nadar, these were the entrepreneurs who created the next generation new age technology businesses, telecom, banking, IT, software. So these businesses, when they emerge, in the last 10 years, what has happened is Government of India has made active intervention. The entire Startup India or Make in India movements which started, India has now become the third largest startup ecosystem with over 150,000 startups, 100 plus incubators, 100 plus unicorns. Interestingly, we have 1,000 plus incubators across the country, which are actually the places where all these new startups are getting hashed, they're getting created there. And it has been like a very interesting thing to watch how next generation of entrepreneurs are emerging. So if I were to ask these four entrepreneurs on what are the kind of regulatory challenges or risks that they face or they see, and what is it that they would want like the lawmakers, policymakers, and regulators to help out with. So if you can take a quick 30-second.
So India is a country where we manufacture close to 11 million bicycles per year, and we expect electric cycles at least to take 10% of it. But today, currently, we are not even crossed 1%. That is because there are four factors as impediments. One is there isn't enough awareness. We don't have soft payment modes. We don't have insurance. And also, we need pure testing facilities and standardization for electric cycles. With the government intervention, if they can, improve and then bring this into action, then we'll see a lot of improvement.
Just two quick points. I think I'm not for regulations, but we need to establish the cost of environment that we're consuming when we trade our businesses, so that we get a real balance sheet. I think I would rest my case at that.
Aziz?
Talking about regulations, in our field, obviously ARI has taken the lead and adapted itself according to the new technologies coming into the market and has been very quick in releasing those statements. But still, when we talk about, like suppose when we started exporting, that's when we started facing those challenges. When we talk about the UK region, we talk about the Lloyd's register, we talk about those clauses, that's when a lot of exposure from the Indian institutions is something which is lacking. But ultimately, what we feel is it's something which is a must, which everybody needs to follow, and co-creation is the only solution ahead of us, which is going to solve a lot of solutions. Thank you.
For me, it's, I think, industrial license, primarily the ecosystem around robotics is something that needs to be looked at. That's where we faced issue when we were applying for the industrial license. So I think that's majorly that I think I have to say about.
Thank you all. This has been absolutely amazing listening to the stories of these 4 entrepreneurs who represent the next generation entrepreneurs that we are seeing in India. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for the organizers for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much.